welcome to our Friday Live. We have a little bit of a fun stuff going on.
Yeah. No, what we're going to do is we have our 534 cubic inch Big Block Chevy that we are giving away with UEM pistons. So this is a build that we actually just finished. We just finished shooting our television with it and all the dyno run stuff. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do some live dyno runs. We're going to take your guys' questions on this or any other projects here in Engine Power. We're going to have some fun. So we've been letting this thing warm up a little bit. And if you guys have any questions on the build or future projects, past projects, whatever, make sure you put them in the comments of whatever channel that you're watching, whether it's PowerNation or Engine Power, social media, YouTube, whatever, because we're going to go ahead and answer them throughout the entire thing. But yeah, we're going to make some runs on this thing and have some fun.
Now remember, this particular engine, you could own it. You have to register to win it. This engine is a giveaway in conjunction with UEM. If we come over here to our handy dandy board right here, this is what you do win. There's a little QR code there. You can scan it to win and scan it to enter, right? And this is pretty neat because this engine was designed to be able to swap into anything. It's a very, very pump gas friendly, very hands-off hydraulic roller. Runs on, if you want to put 87 in it, or you want to put 93. It's a great engine for all things Big Block Chevy. So
this thing is kind of set up as like a really great swap engine. So you want to put it in a car, you want to put it in a truck, you want to put it in an RV or something like that.
or a boat.
Or a boat. Probably, I don't know if I'd put it in a boat, but
I would put it in a boat.
Truck, car, RV.
It's got enough skirt clearance you can put it in a boat.
Yeah, it would totally do it. But yeah, this thing is, drive great, sound great, makes very, very good torque and stuff over a wide RPM range, so it's a great street driver. And this would be perfect for any kind of swap, basically.
So all the noise you're hearing, like that humming in the background, that's our enormous fuel pump that we run for the dyno.
Yeah.
Our fuel pump will run anything. It'll run anything up to probably about 4,000 horsepower. It has a 1 horsepower motor on it, and no matter if it's carbureted, fuel injection, how big the engine is, so that's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
The other thing that you're hearing as you're in there, this engine is kind of loping along at around 1,000 RPM. Big cubic inch engines. We have the cam relatively small on this thing for drivability and convenience, and it's still got that nice idle. It's got that nice exhaust sound, but it makes some good power. Now, this is not a comp eliminator engine. We are not trying to set any records at Bonneville with it.
Yeah.
This is 100% street oriented, and it's designed to be that way. So,
Yeah, the idea with this is, again, it's a hot rod engine, right? So whoever wins this, hopefully with a decent transmission and probably even most stock rear axles, they can put this thing in and have no worries. We can build something that makes 1,000 or 1,200 horsepower and go ahead and give it away, and probably all we're doing is creating a huge headache for whoever wins it.
we're causing you problems.
Probably a death trap too at that point, But then they got to get transmission and rear end and clutch or torque converter and all that kind of stuff. With this thing, it's set up so that it's relatively easy to swap. Obviously, if you don't have an EFI fuel system, you'll have to put that in. But yeah, I mean, the EFI is going to be a huge part for wherever it goes, because this thing, you hook up some wires, you hook fuel to it, and you hit the key, and it starts and runs. Mm-hmm. No matter where you go, no matter where you live. Like if you live out in Denver or whatever, it'll work fine there, or you can go to Gulf Coast or whatever, and it'll run right there. Yeah, sea level, and it'll be fine. So that's why we chose this. We're running a Phytech Nemesis system on top of it, which is their new 4500. So it's got a lot of airflow, it's got a lot of fuel. It's got enough fuel for like 1,600 horsepower, but it's got good manners, good drivability, all that stuff.
Yeah, this engine, like I said, one of the things that we run into is everyone thinks we set everything on kill. This is not on kill. This is designed, if we were drag racing or we were doing something different with the engine, it would be built differently, it would be run different fuel. We do everything that is application specific. This is application specific for a street car or truck or RV or boat or swamp buggy, whatever you want to put it in. It'll run good in anything, put it that way. So
I think you got recognized from Ford Fest already in the comments. I was just looking, I think you got recognized. And someone did ask, is this the first dyno for this engine? This is not the very first dyno. We've actually already dynoed this engine and shot all of our TV. So what we've done is we pulled the tune-up back a little bit to where it's like super safe, where this thing would run normally. Basically, how we're going to send it out the door,
right.
And then we're going to run it and show you guys what it does. I'm going to tell you right now, it made more during the show. So if you want to,
yes,
when the show comes out, it will be airing in February.
February.
Yep, in February. This show is going to air, and you can watch the entire build and the dyno session, so you can watch that and see what the engine made kind of more tuned up. But this is the conservative. This is how we're going to send it out the door to whoever wins it.
Right, for peak numbers, you're going to have to watch the episode,
Yeah.
which is cool. Because how many pulls do you think we have on this engine right now?
Probably 45.
Probably 45 pulls. You know, it's always one of those things that people ask, like, well, how long do these engines last? Do we wear them out on the dyno? The dyno is not going to do that. The dyno is the proof, though. The dyno is the hardest the engine is ever going to be abused, per se, right? Highest amount of load, but it's going to be, we build engines not only to make lots of power, but to last.
Yeah.
One thing of note, which you see sitting here on the counter, it's a book. This is our build book. We do build books for every one of our engines, and these contain everything that's in the engine, from all the parts to our build sheet to our parts list to everything that comes for the engine and everything that goes into the engine. Everything is absolutely documented. We do that. That's just engine building stuff. One, it's a great source for data because similar combinations, no matter what they are, we look at a few things when we're building engine. We look at how big the engine is, how much airflow is going through it, and what fuel we're using, and then what we're going to use the engine for. These give us good data points because even if we built a Ford or a Mopar or whatever, if we use the components that basically match in specs from a camshaft standpoint, from an airflow standpoint, from a cubic inch standpoint, and from a fuel standpoint, they're basically going to make the same type of power, and they have a lot of parallels no matter what you are. We're not brand specific, as you can probably tell. So.
We kind of showed that with our 302, 305.
The 302, 305.
That was kind of the whole point of that experiment or that series, is to show people like, hey, if the displacement of the engine and the volumetric efficiency of the engine are the same, the engine's going to make basically the same amount of power.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, within some given tolerances. And we built identical engines like our 496s that are within less than 1%, and we built 302, 305 that have very comparable power numbers. So yeah, it really comes down to the easy math.
We're gonna make a blast on this thing in a little bit. Let's go through and see if we have any real questions or whatever.
Let's see. 4-inch stroke combo. So on this engine, it is 4-inch 610 thousandths bore with a 4-inch stroke. So we're using Summit Racing's new SPC block, which is this is the Big Block Chevy, still a 9800 deck. So you can get a big bore in that thing. So to get our 534 cubic inch number, we have a 4.610 bore and 4-inch stroke. Someone asked, what is the best way to build an NA but bulletproof 300 base Ford inline 6?
Wow, funny you should ask.
Yeah.
We have a whole series on that. If you go back to in the inception of that, when we pulled that engine off that industrial sewage tank sprayer and dynoed it and then did the subsequent naturally aspirated buildups, that's one way to do it. It's, again, these engines are like anvils, right? If you put them together right, they will last and last. And then the naturally aspirated version of our last one, where we made some improvements, we actually made 300 horsepower. And this thing, as long as you keep oiling it and don't overheat it and don't do anything kind of dumb, the thing will last forever. So
yeah, if you're using relatively good parts, we did basically all of our boosted stuff as well with just a severe duty Velcro head gasket. So sometimes you hear some rumors or things that you need like a really good head gasket. They have problems. Again, if you don't get it hot and you're starting with a good base, you have a well surfaced deck and a well finished head, then you won't have any issues with sealing or anything like that.
Yeah, we had a Velcro severe duty composite style gasket on it. This thing, it made 700 pound-feet of torque and 600 horsepower under boost, right? So nothing wrong with that, and it lasted, doesn't blow the head gasket, doesn't do anything stupid, right? So what do you think? I think we're at temp. We're at temp right now.
We're good.
If you kind of look around, we have our display for. It looks like we're in the spaceship, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah, this is all customizable with Superflow software, so we kind of set it up for what we want to see. We have a couple different screens. Like we have all of our sensor data and atmospherics. We have our main dyno screens, like it's what we're looking at when we're actually making the pool. We have a fueling screen, so if we're sitting here doing tuning with a laptop or something, or just want to watch it, the second person can kind of watch that, monitor all the air fuels and watch the trace and things like that. And then we have almost a copy of that, it seems, but actually this is one we put inside the dyno cell as well when we do like our first fire up or we're priming the engine. It's really helpful because we can watch basically all of our
oil pressure, coolant,
critical
battery, fuel airflow and our AFRs.
Yeah.
So
if we're setting up carbs in there or priming the engine or whatever, we can look at that. We have a screen inside there that we can look at.
It's not actually that. It's only hooked up on that one right there. So
those are averages.
Those are averages. So it's idling at right around 14.
Yeah. So if we do like 8-channel AFRs, it'll actually average the left and right sides of the engine. We can set it up whether it's a Chevy or a Ford or whatever. So that's what the left and right are. Those are set up as averages. And right now we have AFR 2 running. So.
All right. Without further ado, you want to do 300, 600 first? You want to do 300?
Let's do a 600. We'll start
Okay.
there.
This is one thing that people always ask, and we always get a few comments on about the engine's sound when we're dynoing. The engine itself, keep in mind, this is a water brake dyno, so the engine's acceleration rate is controlled by the dyno. The dyno controls. We program that in and how high we want the engine and how fast we want the engine to rev per second. So right now, we have set it at 600 RPM per second. When someone says the engine is struggling, the engine is not struggling. We are literally limiting the engine's acceleration rate, and when it loads down, the dyno pulls the engine down to that starting point RPM before we hit our data link, so we can start acquiring data. So that's why it sounds like that. But the acceleration rate is what we're talking about.
Yeah, and the industry standard is usually between 300 and 600 RPM a second. 600 RPM a second is going to be like a first gear pull. Like if you had it in a car, it'd be like driving it in first gear and making a rip. The 300 per second is like if you're in high gear making a pull at a drag strip. So we've done testing at both. Most of our stuff we do at 300 because it tests the engine a lot harder and we can get more accurate fueling. And so we kind of torture test the engine here so that when it gets into a car, we know it doesn't have any issues.
Granted, engines that have high compression, very high specific output, sometimes if you pull them at 300 per second, they will turn into a Roman candle because they'll go into detonation because of heat, because they're not designed to run at that acceleration rate.
So it depends on the application.
Right. So anyway, so right now, if you listen, hopefully you can hear it. We're going to make a run from 2,500 to 6,200. That's what this engine is designed to run, and we're going to make an RPM range at 600 RPM per second. If you see right there on the dyno, it's 600 per second.
This is where we set up our parameters for the test. All right, ready?
Yep.
Everything looks good?
Everything looks good, and let her buck. Notice how fast the engine sounds really robust, really crisp.
Sweeps through really quick.
Nice and smooth.
Okay, just for, as soon as I find the port, there we go. See what made on that. What does that say?
Okay, so right now, that pull at temperature, that's 180 degrees, 623.7 pound-feet, and 667 horse. Notice how the graph looks really, really nice.
And if you look down here, at load at 2,500, this engine is making 546 pound-feet, and it has basically doesn't go below 540, and then carries that all the way over to 6,200. It's making over 540 everywhere. So this is set up to be a lower RPM street engine. So that's what we designed it for, a relatively flat torque curve that can, you can stab this thing in any gear.
Now, people say, well, is it still going up? It's trending up still. Right now, where the camshaft is, how big the camshaft is, we have designed this engine to make its power under 6,500 RPM. So we could wring this thing out. It's got enough airflow going through it. What that will do is it'll probably level off, and then when you start to get into some sort of instability because of the weight of the valve train, it is still a hydraulic roller. So it's not a drag race engine. This is a street engine. So
it's got heavy components. It's a big block, so it's a 2,350 intake valve. It's relatively large stuff. So
it's got a big old heavy lifter in it. Which is no problem. That's what it's designed for, right?
So now what we're going to do is we'll change it to 300, and you'll be able to hear immediately the difference in the pool. And it's just going to take much longer. It's going to load the engine a little bit harder, and usually this is how we test stuff, and you hear that on the show. You'll hear this rate.
Pump gas stuff and anything up to probably around 1.6, 1.7 horse per cube. We're going to do it at 300 per second.
It's going to give us a little bit better data for fueling and things like that. All right, same pool, just a little bit slower.
struggling? No. Actually, when it loads it harder, it actually makes a little bit more torque.
Yeah, so what was that 640.3?
Yeah.
And let's see here.
658 horse.
658? Okay. Yeah, so it can change the data a little bit because the faster the engine goes through, basically the faster it sweeps through the rate, the fuel has to catch up with it. So if you load it a little bit slower, that's why we usually do that, because we can get more accurate tuning data.
Now, yeah, we haven't changed any spark, we haven't changed any fuel,
Yeah.
and it changed the graph a little bit. That is also indicative on what the chamber is doing in the cylinder head, how much the cooling effect of the water and the fuel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of stuff that's going on right there. And if you pull, like I said, now that the chamber is really hot, if you made another pull, it'll probably drop that down.
Yeah.
The hotter the combustion chamber gets, it's going to start dropping power depending on the fuel, right?
Yeah.
And
Which, I mean, we're dynoing this thing at operating temp. So this is where basically this thing would run in a car
Right.
at 170 degrees. But we kind of let it sit there while we chatted and cooled off
Right.
and everything. But yeah, so this is as simple and as real as you can
Right.
get for a combo like this. So,
any questions?
let's see. Yeah, we probably have some. I was sitting here thinking about how well that engine ran. But
No, it makes great power, right?
let's see. The dyno run was a hit, that's for sure.
Good.
Let's see. Let's go over here. Somebody asked if he could have a job. We're always taking applications.
You never know.
Yeah, if you
I
go to the
mean-
PowerNationTV.com website, there is a post search tab, and you can put in an application because you never know. We could always be
You
looking.
never know.
Let's see. Oh, Tom from UEM is on here. He said hi.
Can you hear his pistons running?
I would hope so.
The pistons work great, Tom. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
they were very, very nice. The pistons in this car,
That's a nice piece.
they're very trick. And if you've seen any of our social posts on PowerNation or Engine Power, you've probably seen them. But it's a really nice 2618 forged piston with a coated skirt, and an 043 top ring. It's a really nice piece.
Yeah.
They were perfect. Let's see. A lot of people want to enter to win, which is good. If you again,
Please enter to win.
Want to enter
This
to
could
win?
be yours.
You can go to the PowerNation.
You're not going to win it if you don't enter.
Yeah. Let's see. Ever thought about loading a 3800 series GMB6?
Yes.
Yeah, those were kind of cool because, like in the Buicks, you could get them supercharged.
Yeah, no,
It's pretty cool.
I've worked on a lot of the old 231s back in the day.
Yeah. Let's see. Steve from UEM said it was awesome. Hey, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Let's see. Man, a lot of you guys have perfect cars that this engine would be perfect in.
Well, we think it's perfect for you too.
Yeah, so make sure you get entered. All right. I don't see any major questions. I'll look for any questions about the engine. It is a 534 cubic inch Mark IV Chevy Big Block.
Yeah.
So it will fit anywhere that a big block will. It's not a tall deck. It is a 9800, short deck Big Block. So we purposely did that so that
Yeah.
way this thing could be able to be swapped into a vehicle or something like that.
And we intentionally tried to make it look like an old school, like L78, like 396. You can tell by, which I think are ultra cool, the stamped steel valve covers. It's that nostalgia look, right? And yes, we did paint aluminum heads, and contrary to popular belief, that doesn't hurt anything. And we have a very simple V-belt drive. We don't have the power steering hooked up to it right now.
Because it's on the dyno.
Because it's on dyno. We're
Yeah.
not power steering anything on the dyno. But everything is what will just go right in a vehicle. Very, very simple.
Yeah.
Any place a big block will go, this will go, and it just makes a little bit more power, hopefully, than what you had in it.
Yeah, so someone asked about the fueling.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are running a throttle body EFI system. It is a 4500 flange Nemesis unit from Vitec. So as far as like the tuning adjustments, on these systems, they work really well where they have a self-learning function where basically you tell it a target air fuel ratio that you want. So in this setup, I think right now we're set pretty safe at like 12.8 to 1. And so it corrects the VE table to match whatever you tell it to target. So basically on these setups, we set a target, we make probably 2 runs, and it's right there.
Yeah.
A lot of the throttle body EFI systems nowadays are so good, they're so quick. You basically hit the key, they immediately start up. You get them up to temp, they start learning. drive around on a couple different loads and things like that, and it starts populating the VE table, and it has a the learn table that transfers over. So that's what this system is. So we got as much learning as we could. So we've got all the wide open throttle stuff, learned basically for this engine, and all of the idle stuff. So when it goes in the car, it's hard to simulate driving around with low load stuff on the dyno. We can do it okay, but really the best way to do that is once you get it in the car, you get it running. It should fire right up, hook everything up right. It should fire right up just like it is now. And then you take it out after you check everything. You take it out, drive around a couple different loads, different RPMs, things like that, and it will learn and figure itself out.
Super simple. Few wires, hook some fuel to it, and you are in there like swimwear. So, all right. So now.
Yeah. What do you want to do now?
Okay. So what I'd like to do is we can actually, if it's cool, we can take and we can put an air cleaner on it if you want to. You want to do that?
We have one. That'd be cool to kind of swap that out real quick.
Shut it down.
All right.
What we're gonna do?
You'll hear how loud our fuel pump is now when I shut it off.
and our fan.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our air system off here. This is not some sort of velocity stack that is supposed to boost power. This precisely measures how many CFM of air goes through this throttle body. So this is for our testing purposes only.
We can actually show you. So there is a calibrated, basically it looks like a fan. There's a calibrated fan blade in there that as air goes across it, it measures the revolutions or frequency of it, and the dyno has a specific calibration for that. And that is what basically with you this. If you've ever heard the term like calculating volumetric efficiency, the dyno actually measures it. So once it knows how big the engine is, it actually measures the amount of air going into the engine, and then will calculate volumetric efficiency. So you can see that little fan blade in there. You can see it turn, so it has a sensor that's hooked to that. And this, so basically it has a honeycomb there to straighten out the air before it goes across the fan, and then it has a calibrated measurement to figure out the VE of the engine. So and then got our air cleaner. So I think someone asked how long we break an engine in on the dyno, or how. He said, where was it? How long do you break a motor in before you dyno? So usually on our stuff, because we have a really nice hone from Sun, and we have an SV15, and we have a really good way to plateau hone our blocks, there is not a ton of break-in involved. Basically, most of the break-in happens in the first minute or so, basically, because we get the engine started, we get it under a light load, and we get it up to temperature, and by then the engine is fully broken in. We will check a few things, make sure we don't have any leaks or anything crazy like that, and then we will make a few low RPM or light load pulls just to, again, verify that everything is working the way it's supposed to, make sure the engine doesn't do anything weird or anything, like we don't have any issues if we're running like a full ignition system that we had never run before on the dyno or something like that. We'll go through all that stuff. We'll shut it down, we'll check everything, drain the oil, check the oil, cut the filter open to make sure there's no debris or media in there that could tell us that something's already potentially failing or having a premature failure. Put it all back together, and then we'll start making full bore dyno hits, at full load and the RPM range that we think the engine is going to peak over in. So that's usually our break-in process. And we'll make a few full power hits before we start shooting our TV, just because, again, we want to make sure that everything's working, because we're not here to, when we're making TV, we actually have a relatively short time window to show everything, so we want to show you guys the good stuff. We want to show you what the engine makes for power and how it reacts to tuning changes. But that's usually our break-in process.
Back in the day with conventional oils, high paraffin content oils, things of such, flat tappet cams, and ways that you have a molly faced ring and a non-plateau hone block, yes, they did require some break-in because, well, the first probably 15 to 20 minutes of engine operation at those was what you used to establish wear patterns. Establish a wear pattern on the lifters, establish a wear pattern on the distributor gear. Theoretically, when things are running, there's not supposed to be any metal touching any metal, right? So that being said, 80% of all engine wear occurs at cold startup. After that, nothing's really should be touching each other as far as metal to metal. So The oil that's on that's actually on the cylinder, the ring theoretically really doesn't touch the cylinder at all. So once everything is established and broken, you're good. With modern materials, with modern oils, break-in is very, very abbreviated. Now if you're still running a flat tappet style cam, yes, you still have to break that in a conventional way with running it and making sure that everything is right with the lifter operating properly, it's spinning right, everything's doing what it's supposed to do, doesn't eat anything, and then you can just go ahead, change your oil, same thing. Procedure, same, check your filter, make sure there's no debris in it, put your fresh oil in it, and away you go.
All right, good?
I think it's good.
All right.
It doesn't look like it's going to fall off. So.
I think that's super cool. With drop base 16-inch air cleaner fits over a Dominator.
If you look at it, I really like the
if it was
the
in the car now. And you were above it, you know.
Yeah, and if you didn't look and say, oh my God, there's a 4,500 flares single plane intake on it.
Yeah.
It looks relatively stock-ish.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you're wondering about these headers, we have a set of swap headers that go with the engine that we dyno with. These are a set of headers that we use on our 496s. These fit a Big Block Corvette. So if you have a Big Block Corvette currently, you need to register to win this engine, and you know this header will fit right on there, and this will fit right in, and it'll make the power that it's going to make right here.
All right, we're going to make one more pull with this, and then we'll go over, basically, if you have any questions about the specs for the engine or anything like that, we're going to go through all those questions. We're going to talk about all the specs on the engine, give you guys the lowdown on it, but we'll make this one pull quick, and then we'll go ahead and do that.
All right. This is like casual Friday, right? So
it's also cold here.
It's also cold. Oh,
it's like what, 20 degrees?
I have a t-shirt on, but I'm from northern Michigan, so
I was in the dyno room and it was all cold and stuff. But yeah,
I like the cold.
All right, same pull and everything, 300 RPM per second. We're just gonna see what this air cleaner does. All right, ready?
Air cleaner test.
Yep. Okay, so it took a little bit out of it. You can see that there. It's
okay, so
624.
It made 26.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at it wrong. Yeah, so it made 626.
And 650 for power.
And 650. So
a few horse, a few pound-feet of torque
for a clean engine.
A small price to pay for a clean engine.
Yeah, we've done air cleaner testing before, and I would say that's for an engine this size. That is for a 3-inch air cleaner. That's totally within
that's
standard.
Like completely awesome.
Yeah.
I think.
So I'm really happy with this engine. Hopefully, you guys have all entered to win it, and one of you guys
tell your friends. Maybe your friends will win. You'll help them put it in something.
Yeah, maybe they won't have anything, and they'll put it in your car. We've had that before.
We've had that. We had a person win an engine, and they need to put it into. They put it in one of the buddy engines. I mean, that's pretty interesting.
All right. Now we're going to shut it down. We're going to go through some questions, talk about the engine, and we also have some new projects we're going to show you here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't forget about that too.
Got her?
Yep. All right. Let's go back in here. So we'll just kind of start out. We'll give you a quick run through of basically the entire engine here, so you guys know what you're entering to win. So again, this is a Summit SPC Big Block Chevy aftermarket block.
What's SPC stand for?
Street Performance and Competition.
Yeah.
So it's good for all of it. And we've used a bunch of these now, and they are really, really solid pieces.
Extremely good engine.
Yep. Very good material, very tight tolerances on the machining and stuff like that. So very, very pleased with them. And I think we had originally kind of talked about maybe using a 502, but then we tried to find one and
that was no way out.
Quickly decided that this was going to be an easier option. So what we do is basically it comes as a 4600 bore. We went a little bit over for a 4610, so we have a Summit 4-inch stroke crank. We have a set of 6-inch 535 thousandths forged H-beam rods from Summit. We have a UEM Icon Elite Series piston, 4610 bore, 043 top ring, hard anodizing on the top ring. It's got lateral gas ports. It has a conventional pin. It has a basically an abradable coating on the skirts, which is really cool. So that way, during the initial break-in process, it helps reduce the wear between the piston and the cylinder walls before oil gets up there and stuff. We have a good set of MLS head gaskets. We have a set of Trick Flow 365cc cylinder heads. So these are a really good head for a conventional 24 degree. They flow 411 CFM at 700 thousandths inch of lift.
Very versatile.
Yeah, very versatile. Set up with a 1.8 ratio Count Pro Magnum steel rocker arm, so stud mount steel rocker arm, which is really cool because it fits under these classic valve covers, these stock replacement valve covers, which was kind of a fun surprise.
That was a concern because we wanted to make sure that it looked as stock as possible. And with this cutout here, this dent that clears a brake booster for the brakes. Sometimes if you have an extruded body rocker arm under there, you'll have to put a spacer under it. But this one, no problem.
Tom loves the engine, which is a win.
That's a win.
Awesome.
I don't know. And one thing that you can probably notice how there's nothing like leaking. There's nothing on the floor. There's nothing. That's how engines should be, right? There's nothing that everyone's if they do a two-piece rear end, like they all leak a little bit. Well, they don't. So.
So as far as cam specs, it is a hydraulic roller cam from Summit Racing Equipment. So it's a 236, 248 on a 111. So
catalog cam, nice catalog.
Yeah, nice catalog cam. Again, nice, easy, mild. You could totally set this engine on kill, make a few changes, and make a lot more power. But again, our concern was that we want it to be a relatively low RPM engine because I know that's what a lot of you guys request. You want low RPM, good torque, good drivability, a street engine. So that's what we decided to do.
Did you know this makes 550 pound-feet at like 2,500?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool though. It still makes a lot of torque, but yeah, this is something that is easily swappable. So link bar, hydraulic roller lifter, 3/8 push rods, and then an Edelbrock Super Victor. This is basically the shortest Dominator flange intake that you can get, which is on purpose because we want you guys to hopefully have plenty of hood clearance on this thing, or at least be able to run like a cow hood. In a truck, I don't think you'd have any issues at all.
It'll fit in a truck, no problem.
Yeah, cars, it's going to be. Hopefully, it fits really good. We haven't test fitted it, but
I mean, like some Chevelles and stuff, I think it'd probably be okay. Maybe some Camaros, it might be a little tight.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the questions was, does headers come with it? Yes, we have a set of block hugger headers that go with it, and we actually dynoed them as well. This was a different situation because we're trying to do, again, we because we're geeks, right, and we're nerds, we love data, so we're going to actually, once all the stuff that we're supposed to do is done, we will use these as data points as well. So headers obviously will affect the engine's power output depending on their design. And here he comes with the other one.
So this is the set. This is half of the set, but this is the set that will come with it. These are for an F body, so like a second gen Big Block Camaro.
But these will come with the engine.
But these will come with the engine. We did dyno these.
Not this part. This is our stuff.
I'll send it with it. This is going with it. You can get it all if it fits in the box. But yeah, ceramic coated header, 2-inch primary, 3-inch collector. Hopefully will fit in most anything. That we try to make these as easy as possible for you guys, but we did dyno these on the engine, and you'll see that in the show. You'll see what they made and stuff.
Do you think there's a power difference from this header to this header?
A little bit.
I'd like to hear what people have to say about that.
Yeah.
Also, this thing is, again, so friendly on pump gas. The big deal is, having some modern technology on an old school engine. I hate to see, I even hate to say it because I'm old, like new and versus old. Big Block Chevy is one of my favorite engines, right? And to say we modernize an engine, well, that's kind of what we're doing, right? But we do that to a lot of different engines, right? And that just makes, the engine doesn't care particularly what's on it, from a carburetor to fuel injection, whatever it is, if it's right, it's all going to make the same power. What EFI, or throttle body, or actual port fuel injection affords you is more drivability, more tunability, not getting in there and having to change jets and air bleeds and getting twisting the distributor for timing. The unit takes care of that. Very, very, very sophisticated unit, but very user-friendly. Like we said earlier, man, we hook up a few wires and this thing is good to go. Put some fuel and water to the engine, you are in business. And then when you drive it, it's one of those things where it doesn't matter if it's 20 degrees out or 100 degrees out, it's going to start. So.
Yeah, someone asked if we showed the power numbers. We showed some
power numbers, not the peak power numbers that we've that they actually.
If you go back in the live a little bit, you'll see what this engine's making. Those are conservative, safe numbers. Someone said that
we backed it down.
Yeah, someone said 12.8 NA on pump gas. That's very safe. Yes, it is. That's by intention. But the way we just dynoed this is how we're going to send it out the door. Safe. So that way, if someone puts it in their car and they start it up and they go beat on it, or if something bad happens, hopefully the engine won't die because it's on the edge for the tune-up. We want that to be safe.
We always worry about the quality of gas.
Yeah, quality is a big thing because we get pretty good fuel here. Yeah. We go to the same gas station. We get relatively consistent gas. It's still 93. It's still pump gas, but we don't know where this engine's going. So we want to make sure that everybody gets a safe tune-up, no matter what kind of 93 they get in their area, or if they need 91 or something like that. Someone asked about what car it was going in. Yours, hopefully, you can enter to win this engine. If you just jumped on and you didn't know already, this is actually a giveaway engine, so you can enter to win for free. And this is a 534 cubic inch Big Block Chevy that we are giving away with UEM pistons. So you can enter to win. You can go to the PowerNationTV.com website. There's a giveaways tab, and you can enter to win this.
This is what a safe tune-up looks like right there.
Yeah.
Now you see a little bit of dark around the actual plug itself. The plug itself has just a slightly chocolatey color, and
the timing strap.
Where the ground strap is, the timing mark is right about at the curve of the actual ground strap. Now on race engine stuff, you can burn it all the way down to the top of the weld, but then you have to be really, really careful on looking at plugs. If it has any sort of debris on it, it starts to get a little bit of black speckle on it. That's called the Black Death. What that means is it's starting to take piston with it. The engine's designed to burn air and fuel, right? Not air, fuel, and aluminum. And if you get your tune-up wrong, you start to get into eroding the piston, and that's bad. You put something on the razor's edge, you have to be very vigilant on the tune-up. Fortunately, we are not trying to get this thing on kill. We are going to get it so if by chance, and it does happen, we've had it happen, you get a bad tank of gas, and the thing starts to run really bad, starts to ping and do all kinds of crazy stuff when it's under load.
And you get it bad enough, it actually starts to vaporize the aluminum, and it looks like someone spray painted aluminum out the exhaust port. Yeah. That's really bad. That means there's a chunk out of the piston, which at that point you're taking it apart to fix it.
You'll know because you'll get an excessive amount of smoke out of the breathers.
And a dead hole. Yeah.
And some sort of dead cylinder. So
let's see. Something. Let's see. Yes, there will be a full build on this engine.
Yeah.
It will be coming out sometime in February. So start to finish, from bare block all the way to this, including the dyno session. We will have a video dropping on the Engine Power YouTube channel and all of the PowerNation channels and all the streaming platforms that we're on, like Roku, Rakuten, Samsung, Vizio, all those. So you will be able to watch the entire build of this engine and then go enter to win it.
Yeah, that's the important part. That's what it's all about, right?
What else we got here? Someone said it's a Butte, Clark, which I agree.
We agree.
Someone said thank you to the cameraman. So
good job, cameraman Leck.
You got a shout out on that one. Let's see. This is probably a question for you. Have you had any thoughts on doing anything with the Dauntless V6?
Not currently. Again, nothing is ever off the table, right? Because if we can get parts for it and hook it to the input shaft of the dyno, we'll do it, right? But there's a lot of things that have to happen before we get to a thing that we're doing here. Before we get to an actual build that we are doing for content, there's a lot of hoops we have to jump through, right? And that's okay, but nothing is ever off the table. And believe me, we throw a lot of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And a lot of it's easier to get common parts for big 3, small block, big block, and I'm gonna say it, imports.
Yeah, honestly, like that's something.
But that's coming up. So
yeah, we're working on that.
We're working on it. I assure you. And
we've
we always get questions like, why don't you guys do any imports? Don't you like them? Of course we like them. We like cylinder pressure. This is what this is all about. Cylinder pressure, naturally aspirated or boosted or chemically supercharged, which is nitrous. But we like them all, right? So we're nothing's ever like say, well, we're like, we don't like that engine. That engine has cooties or some stuff. We like all engines.
Yeah,
right? So,
I mean, we've got a lot of questions about like MV52s or BMW engines, K24s, 2JZs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We are currently working on getting all that stuff and hopefully doing builds for you guys. So
just be patient, please.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think that's all the questions. Just a lot of people who really want to win this engine. So again,
well, we really want to win it too, but unfortunately, we are not eligible.
Well, someone's asked if the winner would come to you to take delivery. Yes, you can come pick it up. We've had people come pick it up, and we've shipped it to people.
Yep.
So we can do both. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's most of the questions for now. So should I go get our next project?
We have yes. Well, I'll entertain everyone while you go get the next one.
I'll go get the next project. I'll be right back.
Okay, so because we love engines of all types, no matter what they are. So sometimes we think out of the box, and out of the box means, well, what could we do? And this is one thing that's a good point, because people are sometimes intimidated by engines. Engines have a lot of complexity. They're simple in design and simple in concept, but very sometimes technically difficult to work on. So if you're working on a V8 and you want to build one of these, sometimes it is very intimidating just to put one of these together, or just if you want to take and just work on thing. It's expensive, and so we got an alternative to that whenever he gets back, he might have went to the store at this point, I don't know, but we want to make something that's very relatable, very in all respects economical, right? And we want it to be something that like a parent and child can work on, something to get people inspired to work on engines. This particular project that's coming in is something that, well, it doesn't have 8 things on it. It has only 1 thing. You punched into our floor.
I'll clean that up.
Oh my God.
It was worth it.
Okay, so if you look, we have, well, it's a go-kart project, right? So what this is a bolt together go-kart. This particular platform of go-kart requires no welding, right? It has nothing to do with welding. You can bolt this together with a couple of tools. The important part is the engine. Like I was saying before, if you are intimidated or you're kind of sketched out and worried about working on an engine, this has everything that engine has in it. It has a rod, it has a piston, has valves, has springs, has rocker arms, has everything that engine has. Only there's only one of them, and it's very economical. This particular engine is about $150 at a place that's easily get. This is a Predator 212.
Yep.
So this particular engine, very highly supported in the aftermarket because they do a lot of racing with these things.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of aftermarket support. Basically, all the same stuff you can get for like a conventional V8.
Cool cams,
you can get for these.
pistons.
Yeah, billet rods.
Cylinder
heads, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, this is the cool thing about the cart is that it's a bolt together cart. So if you don't have a welder or you don't have any fab skills, you can put it together in your garage.
Show them the engine.
Something you want to do with your kid, you can do this too. Yeah, so the engine is just mounted on. It has a nice plate and then a throttle cable and a brake pedal and everything. So this is completely stock right now. It's a 212 Predator, and we're going to be doing engine upgrades to this engine. So we have a couple of stages of upgrades that we're going to do. We're going to show you guys what they do for power and drivability and things like that. Because this is fun stuff that you can literally do in your yard, or if you have a long driveway.
You could do it in your house on your coffee table or in the kitchen.
Yeah. You can work
you might get in
your
trouble
house
from your significant other about that, but these are they're very, very simple to work on, and again, super supported in the aftermarket. And this engine is making like single-digit power right now, and it's very easy to make these things turn a bunch of RPM and make a bunch of power.
And the whole thing is super light. I mean, it's not hard to work on.
Yeah.
You don't need a big engine stand. There's a lot of pros to starting with something like this. If you're getting your hands into engine building, this is a great way to do it.
Great way to start engine building.
Yeah, and it takes all the same stuff as a big, like all the upgrades that you do to a big engine, they do the exact same thing to this. So,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's intake and carb, exhaust, cams, pistons, whatever.
All the physics of that engine in the dyno apply to this single cylinder right
Yeah.
here. And the nice part about it, if you totally go nuts on it and do something bad, you're only out $150. This is literally like working on a disposable lighter. It's really fun,
Yeah.
and if you break it, it's no big deal. You just go get another one.
Yeah, I think that part's pretty cool because not only if you potentially, you know, totally mess up this engine, but also other engines. It's just like big stuff. You could do an engine swap. So we could start with a 212.
Yeah.
They have bigger, small blocks. They have big blocks in small engines.
Big block, small blocks.
There's all kinds of fun stuff that we could do with this, and we probably will do going forward. We're going to start easy. But
Let's start somewhere.
Yeah, but you're going to see this coming up on Engine Power. This is really cool because something we've been thinking about for a while and finally got a good way to do it. So
the question is how are we going to dyno this on the engine dyno? No, unfortunately, hadn't worked out that. We don't have a small engine dyno, but we do have a chassis dyno. So we are going to strap this dude down and we are going to put it on the roller and see how much power it makes. I don't even know if it's going to work or not. It probably will work, but we're going to strap it down just like we would a regular car, and we're going to chassis dyno it, make our mods, and we're going to see not only how much power it makes, but we may or may not have a way of seeing how fast it goes. You know, we have ways of doing that. So
yeah, these things, I'm going to guess probably right now it maxes out at 25 or 30 miles an hour.
which is pretty
good.
spicy when you're that close to the ground.
Yeah, and it has a suspension, so definitely fun as it is. And we have a quick change gear on here, so that's basically the only thing we really changed on the cart was it comes with a set solid gear, but on this one we went for a quick change from EC Carburetors. This is a split gear basically, so you can change the gear ratios, kind of like changing gear ratios in an axle or like in a conventional rear end. But so right now it's set up with the largest gear, which is a 75 tooth, but we also have a 64 tooth if you want to go fast. We could do that as well.
Oh, no, we are going to go fast with it. So,
but it's pretty cool. I mean, this is all stuff that's readily available. There's nothing crazy about it, and it's something super fun for you and your buddies, or you and your kids, or whatever. Yeah.
Basically, bottom line is this is if you want to get into engine building. We get this question all the time. What was a good way to get into engine building? This is a super good way to get into engine building because all the stuff that's in here, very easy to work on, very straightforward. Lots of information out on these. There's a lot of people that build these as well that do a really cool job with it. So a little bit of internet research, a little bit of, on maybe YouTube or social media, you can find people that work on these things and they make some outstanding power. Now this is just like anything else. You could make this engine. This can cost easily as much as a rebuilt like 383 small block Chevy.
If you get crazy.
You get crazy, because you can get billet blocks, billet heads, billet. Everything's built out of billet, right? And the thing, but they'll make outstanding power. And they run on. We're going to run ours on conventional gasoline, but a lot of these run on methanol. So we're not probably going to get into that right away. We want to make it easy. So
no, but there's someone asked about building like a V-twin motorcycle engine. They make V-twin industrial engines that we could do as well.
Everything.
Motorcycle stuff would be really cool. Someone asked about I assume they were talking about dirt bike stuff. It's a 250 two-stroke. So
I built some two-strokes in the day.
Yeah, the cool thing about engines is they all kind of react the same way to the same things. So we are not opposed to doing any of that stuff.
Right.
So if you have any ideas for builds in the future or builds with this or anything, make sure you put them in the comments, because we go through and we read every single one. That's how we get ideas for stuff like this. So yeah. Any questions about the cart? If you have any, make sure you put them in the comments.
And then this is coming up. This is our project that's once we get done with this thing, we're jumping on this. So this will be airing later in the spring.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, it's the next project. So
it's the next project.
Basically, we finished that one. We're going to do this one, so you'll see it on the Engine Power social media channels. You see it on the PowerNation social media channels, and then eventually on the Engine Power YouTube channel as well. Let me make sure to see if we have any other questions, and then I guess that's probably most of the shop update as far as future projects.
Yeah. We have other stuff in the pipeline, but that's we can't talk about it yet. You're just gonna have to watch.
Yeah. Someone asked how we were going to measure horsepower increases. So our plan, if you missed it, is to put it on the chassis dyno. I haven't seen anybody do that on a vehicle chassis. They have chassis dynos for small engines.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, but we're gonna attempt to do it on there. We think it should work. And if not, we have other ways we can test it.
If not, we're gonna take this dude outside.
Yeah.
We're just gonna hold it to the floor and see what it does.
Yeah, we're gonna go race some Teslas with it. All right, I think that's pretty much it for questions. Unless I'm missing any, you got any? All right, I think we're good. If you guys, make sure you follow the Engine Power and PowerNation social media channels, so Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Make sure that you get entered to win the UEM 534 cubic inch Big Block Chevy. You can enter for free, and one of you guys are going to win it, and then we're going to give it to you. So,
Hey, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I don't even know what any of that means. I'm still working on that internet. I don't know if the internet's going to catch on.
But make sure you still do all that stuff.
Still do all that.
That helps us, and then helps us make great content for you guys. So I think it's lunchtime.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure you stop by again because we're going to be doing more of these.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good lunch. Have a good weekend.
See you guys.